So I finally understand the tagline that Rolex led with in their teaser for the 2020 Submariner. Out of the blue, because it's the only way one's going to come along. Hello folks and welcome back to Wonder of Watches. So on Monday the 1st of September, Rolex finally announced their new range for 2020, including the new Submariners. Now I'm not going to spend too much time on the specifications because there are already tons of videos and blogs that do that already. To summarise, they have added 1mm to the overall diameter, they have thinned out the lugs and added the new 32-30 no date and 32-35 date movements, which adds the chronergy escapement, the anti-shock blue parachron hairspring and other patented technologies. It also boosts the power reserve to 70 hours. All great stuff. And these Submariners look fantastic, even if it is more of an evolution than a revolution. So there are 7 different models of Submariner in 2020. We have the stainless steel black bezel, black dial, date and no date models, priced at €7,700 and €8,700 respectively. We have the new stainless steel green ceramic bezel black dial version, priced at €9,100, which I've seen be called the Kermit with a K, the Kermit with a C, the Ceramit, the Green Lantern, the Kato, the Shrek and the Starbucks, to name but a few. Guessing which nickname will stick is a whole game in its own right. And please let me know in the comments which of those nicknames is your favourite. So the collection is then rounded out with the precious metal models, €13,600 for the two-tone models, and the flagship blue bezel white gold model coming in at a very reasonable €37,700. Again, there are already tons of videos on this stuff, so in this one I wanted to explore the unobtainium nature of these new releases, or any other Steel Sports Rolex model for that matter. Actually, some of the comments on YouTube videos are pretty funny in this regard. I also want to comment on what's happening already on the secondary market, both for the new releases and the discontinued models. Okay, so these new watches were released on the 1st of September, and I watched several YouTubers head to their nearest ADs from Dubai to Hong Kong, but there were no models available. As of today, I've seen hands-on reviews of the no date by Monochrome Watches and a blog to watch, but there are very few, if any, end-user reviews. The only other hands-on I saw was by Watch Advisor, who actually went to the Rolex HQ, but even he was only handling dummy watches with no movement. So when will the watch become available to purchase through the AD? And that leads us on to the first problem. I know at least one person who queued at my local AD to add his name to the waiting list, and as far as he was aware, his was the first name to go on the sale assistant's iPad, but was subsequently told by the sale assistant that they weren't sure where he was in the queue. Now apparently there is a store rule where you have to present in the store in person to express interest in Rolex models, but this would suggest that expressions of interest were taken via other mediums, or there are other more preferred customers who have built up an inverted commas relationship with the AD. In other words, they have bought more watches than you have. It may be a mixture of both, but either way, it's going to make it extremely difficult to purchase at recommended retail price from an AD, given the few models they are likely to receive. But the demand for these watches is going to be huge, as it always is with Rolex. So once again, enter the secondary market, sometimes referred to as the grey market, and you can already see where they are going with this. So for example, here are 2, okay, I'm going to call them Shreks for sale. Let's just call them reference 126610LV, there can be no confusion then. Now bear in mind, RRP is €9,100. Here's one for $26,150 and the other Shrek price on request. But if you have to ask, you probably can't afford it. Even the black bezel date 126610LN is selling for $20k plus. Crikey. Now these are chancers and it's likely prices will stabilise once production models are finally released. So why don't people go for the older models then? Well, this becomes problematic too. I've already seen one prominent jewellers, Bijou Diamond Jewellers, say that their customers were not happy with the size increase and were still putting their names forward for the now discontinued 40mm versions, so demand is going to increase here too. The previous black Submariner date 116610LN will set you back at least €10,000, and the old Hulk is now selling by some for €25,000 on the secondary market, but realistically you can expect to pay minimum €17,000 to €18,000 for a used Hulk. So what to do then? Well, thank God for Tudor, where you can buy an aesthetically more pleasing, in my opinion anyway, Black Bay 58 with in-house movement, equipped with a silicone hairspring and 70-hour power reserve before Rolex were even thinking about 70-hour power reserves. And you can get that on a bracelet for $3,500. Or maybe you could go for, God forbid, an Omega, again for half the price of a new sub and with an arguably more advanced movement. Some people are getting a little fed up of this Rolex madness. Maybe we should now seriously look at the alternatives. So thank you very much. The channel has gone over 200 subs since my last video, and I just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone for their support. I've really enjoyed the community aspect of YouTube. I've become friendly with other watch tubers, as I call them, and I've loved chatting in the comments. So good luck everyone. Ben.